market scaffolding, right? We have some of our daily power levels, the close of the day before, and the hopeful. We've got those retracement levels and the swing highs. But we also have VWAP, which is going to be, in this case, I guess our first expected support zone once it got through the 200. So right now, this hold here from VWAP would be our first expected support zone. And there goes my monitor. I don't know if you guys saw that blink. I swear, man, I don't know how I used this computer for the last 6 months and didn't have a single problem until yesterday. But VWAP would be that first expected support before we get into this level I talked about in our pre-market, which was, again, the hopeful at 88 and the close at 88.75 in a very tight 1-point pocket right there, and then the scaffolding. Okay, so holding here from VWAP wouldn't be a surprising thing to see. I'm not calling any type of trade here. I'm just pointing out that the hold from VWAP would be a common occurrence. So the fact that we're here right now, we're bouncing, makes sense. And then if it does continue to bounce here right now, remember, your fast moving average is your first potential resistance, just like it was here on that first test for the break lower. So even if it does hold VWAP here, you got to be aware from our roadmap perspective, we have a potential stop sign right there and right off the 200 moving average before it gets back up into the high of last week at 97.75. All right, so there's the play. There's the bounce that I expected. However, this right here is the problem. It's our first stop sign on the map here. And that doesn't mean it's not going to do a little shallow 50% retrace and balance out. But just be aware that if you were long from VWAP and you just get a major rejection here and it starts to continue to break lower, you probably want to get out of your trade if you're long. All right, so again, I don't want to sit here and just call trades for you all day. The idea is for you guys to have this map, to have every single strong support and resistance level on the market, along with these signals down below. If you notice, we got a bearish signal from that high as it was testing right into the fast moving average. So if I was long from VWAP, it came up to here, I saw the bearish signal, and then we start breaking down. Probably don't want to be holding on to that trade any longer, because now it's doing exactly what I would expect. Let me refresh that. Is the break lower now that we couldn't get through the fast moving average with a bearish signal here. Okay, so now the next pocket, and this is what you're going to probably notice here the longer that you watch this stuff, is that the market is doing these, it's basically kind of traveling back and forth between all the levels that we watch. And you're going to be amazed, and there it goes again, my monitors. You're going to be amazed at how many times the market literally travels back and forth between all the levels that we watch. Okay, and that's the idea with broadcasting these charts throughout the rest of the day. This is our roadmap now for where we want to be placing trades and taking profit and creating biases. So this morning, remember what I said? Remember what I said. We are expecting a push to get through the high of the day before. That was our first expectation. The market opened right here where my cursor is and rode this all the way, got through the high of the day before, and then what did I say in our pre-market? Just because we get through this high doesn't mean we're not going to get one of these pushes and then this failure right back down. And that's exactly what we're getting right now, is kind of this peak up into the above the high of last week, which was our expectation. And then, we got the breakdown, and now look at what's happening, guys. And this couldn't have worked out any better. Hold the VWAP, bounce to the fast moving average, come to our first expected support zone that we talked about in our pre-market, and bounce, and now we're testing into VWAP again. All right, so you could have gotten a trade here, 42.88.5, and already been up almost 5 points. So I don't know if anyone tried that. I don't know if anyone tried VWAP, but either way, if you got VWAP long, this should have been your clue to maybe close it out as it started to break back below VWAP. And now here with this setup, the idea is to be long. There's 5 points from the low it just made. And now we're expecting, if this can't hold right here, it's probably going to get some type of pullback. If not, then we're up into our next resistance zone, which will be that 200 moving average. Okay? And then once it breaks through the 200, if it breaks through the 200, notice where we're testing and getting a little pullback at the moment. If they get through there, then we're right back up to the high of last week. And remember, and I didn't mention this in our pre-market because I've had so many things I wanted to get out. I kind of forgot about a couple things. But a lot of times what we see is when the market opens away from the close of the day before, which is that dotted white line right there, a lot of times we see the market revisit the close of the day before, and then bam, fire away right off of it, which is what we just got. And notice the pattern we just got at the 200 moving average, a bearish signal, and now that's occurring, we're getting our little pullback here. All right, so well, now we got a reverse, an opposite signal, and we bounced a little higher. So these things are happening on the short time frames very, very quickly here. Okay. Now, I don't know if anyone actually ended up buying our first expected support zone. And this should be out to noon, like I said. If you bought our first expected support zone this morning, you have just made nearly 20 points with no risk. All right. You also had these little scalp opportunities that we were talking about as it was transpiring in real time. And this really is the crux of the system here. This happens nearly every day. We have support levels that make sense. The market comes right to them, rotates right off of them. All right, so couldn't have really worked out any better here. I'm going to let you guys go. It's up to you to make your trading decisions. Remember that with the levels that we deal with here on the chart, it doesn't require a lot of risk. Typically, if a level works, it works and we get a rotation. If it doesn't work, then it goes right through. All right, so keep in mind this morning here, trying the close of the day before, or maybe putting your entry right between the close of the day before and our holy orange power level, 42.88.5. You know, the amount of risk that you're dealing with here is maybe a couple ticks, right? So these are the things that you want to be aware of here as you're trading. Here's another beautiful hold off the 200 on the pullback. Now, we're not guaranteed a hold just because it pulled back to there, but when it does, it typically holds within a couple ticks or a point or two. Come on, close. A couple ticks or a point or two. Right here, 96, 95 quarter. That's 3 ticks of risk, and it's now 2 or 3 times that to the upside at the moment. Okay, so just keep in mind, you want to be playing trades to and from our areas of support and resistance here. And if you're going to take a trade, you're typically not going to have to take more than about maybe 2 points above or below the level you're trading. Okay, I'm not telling you what type of risk you need to set. I'm just telling you that, and you don't even need me to really say it. You just need to use your observation here over the last 30 minutes. If the level's going to hold, it's going to hold and it's going to rotate, right? Here's the 200. Looked like it was going to get a hold with a bearish signal there, and then bam, it turned and rotated right back out. So within those 2 points, 94 quarter, 96 quarter, you know, typically it's going to hold in that area and turn. If it doesn't, then I'm getting out of the trade. Okay, within about 2 points past, I'm done. I'm ready to move on to my next level, my next trade. And guys, here again, from a roadmap perspective, pullback, holds the 200, bounces from the 200, but then holds the fast moving, and now we're pushing back down to VWAP. Okay, so this is all literally, it's like you're at the bowling alley, right? It's really, and it's just blows me away. But it's really like you're at a bowling alley. You know, you have your lane, and let me just update this to, so you have your lane, right? You have a bunch of bowling balls, right? There's all your bowling balls. You got your big bowling ball right here. And then you have your little bumpers on either side. Remember those bumpers when you were a little kid, or for the little kids? So that when they throw the ball, it would stay in the lanes, right? And eventually they would kind of get, you know, a decent attempt at hitting the pins. It's the same exact kind of scenario here with the way we're trading this stuff, right? It's literally just the bumpers back and forth between all these areas. Now, is it perfect? Does it work every time? Just like anything in trading, hell no. Sometimes it's going to be messy. Sometimes things just aren't going to work. And that's, you know, that's just how things are. But I'm telling you right now, if you can capture a couple trades like this where you get in, you barely take any risk, and you get a 5, 10, 15 point, you know, move out of it, that's where you make your money. And then on these little trades where you don't quite get a hold and it pops right through where maybe you got your short in this example right here, you take your stop or you close your trade out early to get out with very minimal risk. Then you just wait for your next trade setup. Okay, so just keep in mind, choppy markets, obviously, going to be trouble. It's going to be trouble to orient yourselves with the very fast moving averages that we deal with on a short time frame, because it'll probably chop back and forth around them. But they're going to be your friend. See, if I zoom out here, they're going to be your friend in these type of scenarios where you're in a pretty decent momentum market. You're going to be able to trade these levels and nearly take no risk on the trades. And now on the other side of things here, as the market's selling off, we're basically holding the back end of that fast moving average, and here we are back at VWAP again. Okay, there's another, you know, potentially very low risk trade entry from there, because again, you're not going to be wrong by much more than maybe 1.5, 2 points there. But then on the upside of things, this might end up going 5, 10, 15, maybe 30 points to the upside right from that little discrete level. All right, so there's a little bit of training here this morning, a little bit of housekeeping and introductory information. So hopefully this helped you guys a little bit coming into this morning. And again, for those that are brand new, with each morning and with each weekly webinar and with all the reviews and the blogs that I'm posting, you should start to get a really good feel for how you're going to trade within our roadmap levels. Okay, so the news event has already come and gone. There really wasn't any type of major turn from there, so not a lot of volatility here this morning on those news events. And now here I'm going to leave it to you guys to find trades. Now, you could have gotten this beautiful trade in real time as we were talking about it here. You could have tried this short here, which didn't work. Could have tried this short here. You could have tried the VWAP long. You could have tried the 200 long as it was happening. Again, understanding it's a scalp into the fast moving average if it can't get through it. And now here's another potential opportunity off the back end of the FMA. Every time we've tested it here on these pullbacks, you could have gotten very low risk. Again, we're talking a couple ticks of risk, and then it's now moved, say, 5, 6, 10 points from those areas. So I'm going to get going, guys. Happy trading. Stay safe. and the charts will be running all day. So if you want to keep coming back to look for different roadmap levels, look for these signals that are setting up off of the highs and lows on the 512, the 3-minute or the 30-minute. Then you rely on those. I have to take a big pee right now because I've been drinking lots of water and tea this morning. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I will see you tomorrow morning bright and early. Take care.